All right. Let's see if that works a little bit better. I'm hoping. Hi, everybody. Had to fix a few things so that I could tell whether or not my streaming was going to keep buffering on you or not. And I think we've got a better option. So today, I'm going to show you how I take this pastel matte paper, and this is the largest size of pads that they provide, and this is 12 by 15.5 inches, or 30 by 40 centimeters. And so we're going to try and show you how I prepped this paper. It comes with several different colors. This one is sanguine red, sable or sand, beige, and dark gray. And so you see the dark gray on top. Between sheets is a piece of glassine. That's what this is. And so I have pulled out a couple of sheets from this tablet. This was the sanguine red and the sand color. And I wanted to see which one I wanted to use to do a portrait of Jael, the cultural music collector. And I tend to lean toward this sanguine color a little bit. So that's what I'm going to do. This cardstock backer board, I call it, is something that I buy separate from this paper, the pastel matte paper. But I find when I'm holding it, and I like the sturdiness of the two together. This is 140 or 180 pound paper, the pastel matte. And I'm going to show you how I mount this on here. I used to have whole sheets that would go behind it, but 3M stopped making it. And so now this is simply double-sided tape. And I'm going to go ahead and apply it along the edges of the back of my pastel matte paper like this. Real simple, all the way to the other edge. And scissors, trim it off. Then I'll do the same thing to the other side. And again, once I place this, there's no picking it back up. So I'm going to have it right the first time. That's the difference between this and what I started out using, which was repositionable sticky double-sided paper tape. But can't get that anymore. Then I will, let me measure this. It's going to be about that wide. Edge. And same on the opposite side. Flipping over. I do this with inch-wide paper or tape. I do this with this wider. I'm just trying different products out since 3M stopped making a wonderful repositionable paper for the whole back. And okay, so luckily this double-sided tape pulls up fairly easily like that. Not all of them do. Tried a few that devilish to try and get this edge up so that you can actually peel the top layer off. So 3M still makes double-sided tape that is good also. This is kind of on that same caliber. All right. Now, again, once I turn this over and place it, that's it. I'm done. So my time holding the edges and getting this where I want it parallel. And that looks pretty good right there. Okay. Once I've got it where I want it, then here we go. Then that's step 1. 2 is to some artist's tape. There is an artist's masking tape. Let's call it art tape. And this is, it looks like regular masking tape. However, you can pull it up again fairly easily. Simply is protecting my edges. And when I pull it up, it's giving me an artificial look of a mat. So I'm going to put this down here and put, and same. When I am on a drawing that I really need to have the right proportions for, because I'm trying to do something that's photorealistic, I can write on this art tape and do a grid along this so that I get of the body and the face and things correctly. And I'll just put dots about every inch or so, so that I set up a grid work that is nice. Now, here's where I'm going to flip this one more time and do the last edge. So, because I'm going to be doing a sketch of Jael, and I'm not copying a specific photo that has been taken. Now, this way and see if I can get a good semblance of her. All right, so I sure like this paper. I like this color. And I'm trying to think of what color to start out with. And I think the best thing to do would be to get some kind of a deeper gray tone so that maybe you can see what I'm going to be doing here a little bit. I'm going to scroll over so that you can see what you can see. I can see your comments. Here's where I need to think of what I want to do here. I've got dark gray, and I haven't sharpened this, but I think I better do a little sharpening, before we get started, so that I've got at least one of these that's got a little bit more of an edge. When I first do an outline sketch, the super sharpest little pencil edges, because oftentimes I'm just gently drawing and roughing things in like that other medium gray. Here it is. This is the cool gray. Here we are. Jael introduced us as their cultural music collector or curator. She is a musician herself, but she also likes, let's see, what am I doing here? Let's bring this down a little bit. Okay. Here. Just to get kind of a side of the face and exactly what I'm doing with else head shape here and chin, eyes. So let's try eyebrow ridge here, just so we have an idea of nose. And I like her tiny little nose. And I remember, right, Jael has a little bit of a line under the eye. And her eyes. Uh-huh. There we go. That's a little bit better. And the bridge of her nose is not real wide, if I remember right. And let's bring this over. Again, in any of if the face and the eyes are different, the corners of the eyes are not matching, then things go. That's better. Now, don't want to get these eyes too close together either. And that might be a better color for you to process here. So, this just a little bit and move her eye over a little bit. Same thing on this side. I'm going to change it just a little bit and bring it over here a little bit more and this face a little. Realized I was getting a little bit and there we go. Now, I don't know if you can see this darker color a little bit better. I like it, but I'm going to bring this cheekbone area out just a little bit more, and then again the side of the head and the temple. There we go. Curve that back and around. Think of her mouth, and I like her simple smile. That's the one thing about Jael that I've always enjoyed, is she was just quick to be expressive. Anytime I met her, Ponte's lips are not very big. They're very thin, and I have to be careful about not getting them too thick. And then jaw is a lot more slight than our jaws are, and the chin is narrow. So here's rough. Let's roughen this chin a little bit. There we go. And roughen this laugh lines and cheekbones, because think of her cheekbones. Again, it's that easy to smile, expressive face that she's got, more so than most Ponte. Jael is not. Jael is not. She is always, whenever we've talked, been very, very good about letting you see what her emotions are. Again, the neck, her in particular, is slender, and remember, the Pontee have an extra vertebrae that we do not have. Now, that seems to face a little better. And let's see. We have a choice always of whether or not to eyes with their nictitating lenses over their eyes or not, just because of the expressiveness of Jael's eyes. I'm going to let her eyes be uncovered from the nictitating lens. That rounds that in a little bit more. Now, eyebrows, the Pontee have so much, but they do have a line underneath that eye ridge, and sometimes you will see a little bit different eyelid configuration, puppier, or that's better. Now, if I think about Jael again, this nose of hers is not too big. Now, I think about our pupil size here. Okay, so now thin this face down just a little bit and get some shadow line under the jaw and some more shadow under this eyebrow ridge just a little bit. Okay, head shape. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay. Now I could use my pastel pencils and fill in the skin tone here. Or I can go to my grays that are these different kinds of background chalks and fill things in a little faster. Give me just a moment to pick a few different gray tones up here that I like. Stockpile. All right. So now, my light source I'm going to have just be kind of right down on her and not off to one side or off to the other side. And so, because I'm going to give a highlight to her lovely little bones here, and then again this one. Let's highlight just so that we've got a little bit, and same thing with the forehead area. And again, remember, we are laying down background color, background shading. It will be blended in very nicely. Okay, here we go. So let's go to where the darker tones are under the chin. And the shading. Darker tones at the bottom of her cheekbones. Let's get over here in the shadow of the eyes. Jill has brown hazel eyes, if I remember right. And we will get there as far as adding that hazel tone to the eyes. At the moment, I'm just going to darken it just a little. And again, I'm just getting in a bit of the shadow so that we can progress here. Use my pupils. All right, and I do need to remember that I want hitting that. So I'm going to add in a light in the pupil. And a little bit more of a light in a couple of places. And now we can shift into some of the more medium grays. Let's see what we can do here to give her some more medium gray skin tone. All right. If you can hear okay, which I hope to goodness that you can, and you're listening, and just let me know in the comments that you can hear the audio, because I've had all kinds of problems. Audio not being available as I'm streaming, and haven't always figured out what I'm doing wrong yet. So if you could hear me, that would be very helpful. Now, here we are, getting in some of the medium light into Jael's face. And let's give her a little bit of around under the nose and under the chin, and so now you can see where there we go. Let's go ahead and get the neck. Let's see here. What else? What's next? Now, let's try something darker in the eyes, in the pupil area, and there's one. There's two. And Kind of get these closer to equal size. And under the nose. Okay. And I like to try and get that smile really portrayed well, especially for this young gal. I don't honestly know Giles. I am unsure about that. I get the feeling that she and Drudy are similar age. And similar likes. I do know that Giles has been down to the Amazon with Drudy and the girls doing fly kiting. And let's deepen the side of the temple here. There's always a little bit extra here, and then I try and fade the outside a little bit so that we've got some highlights and lowlights in the top of the forehead. And underneath the nose, oftentimes there's a shadow. So now you can see my fingers are a mess. Blending process just to see how my values of my tones are coming along. Let's shade in. We will make sure that her cute hazel brown eyes stand out, and that we will get some more in here. This is just roughing in the first bits of the rough draft. How much sanguine red paper stands out underneath the gray. But by the time we're done, you will see Giles and not the paper quite the same way. All right, so can I use a blending stump and do a smoother job of this? Yeah, I can. I sure can. Is it critical at this stage? No, not so much. Right now, my biggest getting proportions, okay? And I can tell right away that we're going to see whether you see Giles with red eyes. And so, because it's not common for eyes or the pupils of the eyes to be specifically white. Oftentimes I will fudge it a little with an off-white or a gray. In this particular case, I am choosing kind of a dirty white here. Let's see here. I want this. Make sure that this cheekbone and the nose bridge is highlighted. And again, this. Most of the over top lip like this doesn't have to be white necessarily. All right. Here a little, here. A little bit of highlight on the forehead. just a little bit over the eyebrow. You can hear the scratchiness of this particular piece of white, off-white chalk on my pastel mat compared to, say, this shade, which is not nearly as scratchy sounding on the paper. It's the hardness of the chalk doing that. Okay. And again, remember, we're laying down base color, and this is draft number 1, and we're going to be blending this in. Here we go. The Ponte this weekend are fairly busy because they have a new group of trainees graduating and going elsewhere, and another batch coming in to begin the training. Let's see here, inside. That's better. Where's my medium? Let's try this medium just a little bit and see if it's light enough. Okay, and let's carry this back into the forehead. Just do a little bit of the darker around the edges, a little bit on the side of the nose, a little bit on this inside of the nose. And let's blend again. Yeah. Layer 2. It may have many, many layers by the time we're done. We don't know yet how many it's going to take. It depends on the quality of the pastel chalk that I'm using. It depends on how I lay that down. It depends on the combination of colors that I want to blend to get the right shades. And that doesn't mean that because her skin is going to have to stay with, because I can take dark blues, I can take purples, I can even take with this particular lighting, even take deep umbers, oranges, into account. Get this eye color a little bit better so that speaking of burnt umber, right? Okay. There's tone, and rather than try butts with getting the outside edges of this iris correct with a wider chalk, let's do it with the pencil instead. Now, this is where I pray that my eyes have successfully done in the same size. Now let's see if we can get the inner eye corner here. Here's the same inner eye corner on this side. All right. go. Now when you do eyes, especially the bottom lid, you don't always two lines, but you frequently do. So I'm gonna take this eyelid line and this one, and then I'm gonna just remove myself where the edge of this eyebrow ridge is. So that, here we go. Yeah. Now, if that's where the middle of the nose is, then I have a shade down like this, and then I have to make sure that my corner laugh lines connect right here at the top of the nostril, not just anywhere. And let's see here. Top, just like that. If they find it weird how small our eyes are, a little. That's a fair enough question. All right, let's get this top lip and all right, so because I got this roughened in, now I can use my darker grays and whites where I need to. It seems to me like this is a little bit. I should see if we can fix that. Oh yeah, that's the one thing about pastels. I just created a area of light straight over that black with a white. There are not too many mediums you can do that with. All right, now let's make sure that we're getting this cheekbone higher again. This I think my chin is going to have to change a little bit here because, again, I'm off just a little, and now is the time to correct that. See how much I was off down there? All right, so let's put this in and get it right. I'm going to shade in down here. So I'm going to laugh lines. And a little bit over. Oh, this is scratchy white again. Not my favorite. It works, but I'm not thrilled about it. Okay, so we're slowly working our way and around. See how that number was so close to the sanguine? It's still, so I'm going to take and progressively deeper shades of brown and brown. Okay, so that these stand out a little bit better for you. See if I have any browns in here or not. Not too many. Hazel. Now, let's see what we got for covering up. Let's get the other one. I like this one a little bit better. And see how the side of this does a little bit better coverage than the white. I like it better. I think it blends better. Okay, now I want to get some of this down here. And pupils. Now, shadows. Don't be afraid to darken the shadow under that eyelid because it's the contrast. It really makes the difference for the portrayal. Okay. And let's see, a little here. I am still thinking that my jawline is awfully big on this side, a little deeper than I would like to see it. So what I'm going to see if I can create a fix here with lighter chalks and darker chalks. See if I can get some of this slenderized. I'm going to put your details. Come on. Let's see if we can fix this way. Now with that, right. Okay, so bringing the chin up a little bit. And okay. Okay. A little bit here, a little bit there. And remember, we're just blending things in at this stage. Here's what I'm going to do next. It's time to use the fingers again and see what we're doing with full coverage in the skin tone and the shading. Getting there. I could do forehead and skin and the background shades with pan pastels. That would be very fine. A nice smooth blended. But to be honest, I'm an artist that likes to get my fingers dirty because I feel like I've got a more deft sense and a little bit more control doing it this way. Now that may or may not be true for other people, but it works for me. All right, so you can see how We're slowly getting there. Picking things up and seeing what needs to be done next. I've got to stop after a little while here, only because I haven't figured out what we're fixing for supper, and I'm still on tap for doing that. What's next? I think I'm going to use this more medium gray to fill out some of the transition in the skin tone here. Yep. All right, let's see if we can make this do what we want it to do for covering up this background sanguine's paper color and filling in where we needed to fill in. Okay. Okay. Let's get a little bit of our shading back in around the edges. Careful not to leave stark lines. Shade. Bridge of the nose area. Shading under the shading on this side of the face and down this side of the neck. Shading under the mouth and on this side of the, yep. Okay. Slowly getting there. Again, let's blend things in, see where we stand. See how I'm not being real gentle, I'm just really pressing in and trying to get things smoothed over so that I'm not seeing my red sanguine underneath this base layer. All right, you can see where, that's okay. This is just the layering process. Go back and fill in some of those details. Uh-huh. 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 Remember the delicate little chin here. Huh? All right, now. And these in. I am cautious about how much black I use because it can get too heavy, too dark, too fast on me. And just a little bit shy, especially with the pencils, it's a little bit different story. So let's use the black pencil and get some of these nose in again. And slight smile. Eye. And edge. Okay. Again, make sure that my chin is centered. Easy to get that off. Okay, getting there. Blend it in just a little bit. Fuzz it out just a little bit. Uh-huh. Okay, look there. Slowly but steadily getting there. You get the essence of where it's going when you get into moving forward like this. I'm going to add a little bit darker shading tone to the outside edge here. Come on. Right there. And outside edge of her nice little smile here. Uh-huh. Nice smile, Jill. There. And let's take this up the side and take this down this side. We're going to blend this in more and make sure that we can give you an idea of let's get this brow ridge done. And then I'm going to right here and there. My angular is hard to hang on to. All right, so now let's blend in carefully the sides of this. And see where. There, I'm getting there. See, layers and layers and layers and layers of blended in together because nobody's skin tone is just one. Not ours, not the Pontees, not any animal on Earth. We are creatures that have light and shadow and lots of different. Now you can see sanguine red underneath here is, and I've got complex multiple colors going on in of grays. It's starting to get a little dark. I'm losing the highlights, and so I'm going to go back over it and add some back in. And so that see where the highlight was made. Make sure that this it's picked up right. And again, this is not white, it's just a light gray that I'm working with here. And all right, again, here. Here we go, guys. Draw, whether it's Sasquatch or Ponte kind, or if you're having a problem tackling or drawing, shoot it to me in the comments and I'll help you out, draw something for you. All right, I'm going to set this for a second. Re-sign in so that I see any of your comments. Yeah. How much do they help me as I go? What I'm doing and how interested they are and how busy they are at the time. I work with them. The first thing I asked them, and I asked Jael ahead of time, what kind of a pose. And so she asked for a large filing, a little bit better detail of time. And so here we go. A slight smile. What do? Make sure that who's in a good mood. If you look, sides of the mouth are right in line with the edge or the side of the eye. You can see where it's real close here now. Make sure that your mouth is centered below the point of the nose. And that the other muscles around the mouth that indicate laugh lines, oops, darker. Let's see if this is the one. Like this. Blend this in. And so the cheek muscles have some to do with that portrayal of laugh lines and laughter. This side, again, prominent. And I'm going to make this a little darker still, just because I'm trying to make sure that this isn't lost. And that this laugh line just is right there. Now, underneath, I gotta be careful, but underneath here, we got some shadow. And some highlights. So I'm going to see if I can get my highlights back in here. And here, right there, over the eyebrow. And from the middle of the mouth on, Let's see here. Uh-huh. And this side too. All right. Then. Yeah. All right, let's blend that in again too. Wow, Smoky Toke, thank you. I didn't pick this back up again. I was creative, doing all kinds of creative artistic things over the last several decades, but portraits were not something that I had done since high school. I have designed clothing. I have done ceremonial attire for sacred ceremonies. I have made sacred quilts, again, for sacred ceremonies. But it wasn't until Commander Tilcom asked me to do this that I started doing the portraits again. All right, see how we brought up the chin line with just this little bit of vague shadow? Now I can bring it up to even some more. Make sure that we're centered. And bring it, the shadow of the chin down a little bit there. Not too dark. And as I've got this black on my finger, I can also do other areas in black. Here we go. Now, have I shown my work to the Ponte, and do they enjoy it? Believe it or not, when they know that I am doing their picture, they make a point of stopping by to tell me what I'm doing right or what I'm doing wrong. And so, yes, I definitely show it. They've been here in the studio quite a bit. In the beginning, it was more common to see them stick around the studio and kibitz with me or talk with me as I did the portraits. And now, because my own telepathic skill appears to be more improved than it was when I first started, if they pose for me or sit where they are in the mountain, even if they're in their rooms or if they're working or if they're in the hangar bay, it doesn't matter. I can tap into them and get their opinion. But the Ponte are no different than you and I. They always like seeing the progress. Brickish, you said you'd like watching how it evolved. When you are the subject of this, you also like watching it evolve. All right, so let's get this slight smile back with our lovely. And again, let's just give her a little bit here, and then underneath that lower lip. And then I want to make sure that this doesn't fade out. Make sure this doesn't fade out. And let's make sure that my side of my nose and the bridge of this nose here. A little bit more pronounced. There we go. That's better. Now, shadow in the eye. Shadow in the eyelid. All right, now let's blend this and soften it a little bit, just like that. There we go. Okay. All right, guys, it is now time for me to take a break. I'm going to add one more thing with my white pencil, and that is I'm going to add a little bit to the nose here. I'm going to add a little bit to the inner corner of the eyes. I'm going to add a little bit of the bright white here to the cheeks. A little bit up the nose, a little bit over here. See how I can get a little bit more subtle with the pencil? And see how we're doing here. Okay, so not too strong. All right, so blend. Don't worry about how thick this is getting here. Don't worry about that. And same thing with my neck here. Okay, all right, we're getting to a good stopping place for this particular draft. So we're going to call this Giles Smile Rough Draft number 1. Let me blend some of these in a little bit better. And I will let you be for now. And we'll have to pick this back up another time and work on it some more. My temptation has always been to want to grab it and finish it, and I have done that off camera, and that's hard for you because you can't see what I've done to change. So I'm going to try and remember to not grab this until it's time to get on camera and teach you guys a little bit more about what I'm doing and how. Okay, so rough draft of Jael, and we'll let her be for the moment. Hard to put down. But I've got to go figure out what we're doing for supper. We will add some more details to the eyes when I come back so that you can see that process too, because it's important to see how I take care of doing the eyes themselves. And we will make sure that our eye sizes are right. Anyway, here we go. I will let you be for now. Thank you for watching, guys. Like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of thing. I'm gonna sign off for the moment and go see what we can do about making up something for supper. Okay. Thank you again, and again, leave something in the comments that you've been here, and if you would like to go ahead and suggest anything else that you would like to see me draw, that would be marvelous. This is Jael's Smile, rough draft number 1. And I'm Sue Walker, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.